In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Welcome to the Business for Superheroes show. I'm Vicky Fraser. This is Noodle Fraser. I don't know if you can hear the purrs. Hang on. That was Noodle, and this is Joe.
Hello. Not purring.
Not purring. No. So, hi.
Hello.
I feel a bit unplugged from everything.
Nice weekend, huh?
Yeah, it's Monday evening now when we're recording this. And we have just got back from Anglesey, where there was no phone signal and no Wi-Fi, and it was bliss.
It was nice.
Wasn't
it was a bit weird for a bit, but it was all right.
Yeah,
it's good.
It was lovely. I think if you can unplug, make sure you unplug for just a few days every year.
Mm-hmm.
Just unplug everything and go camping or whatever it is that you do. Cause
sit in a tree,
go underwater, whatever it is that you do to get away from, the hustle bustle.
Mm.
And because it was really liberating, and I enjoyed it very much.
Anglesey's nice, folks.
Anglesey is nice, but to do that, you do have to kind of be organised and get things lined up so that you can take a break. Because I lined up all my daily emails and
skills,
scheduled them all, and I made sure that the people who would need to know where I was knew that I wouldn't be available for, a few days. And so you need to basically just stop swapping time for money exclusively and set your business up so that you can step away from it without your head exploding. Because I quite often see people in Facebook groups saying, and they almost make it like a kind of point of pride that, I couldn't possibly step away from my business and have a holiday for a week. I was like,
hi, Richard.
No, not Rich. I wasn't thinking of Richard at all. Although, hi, Richard. I wasn't thinking of Richard at all. But
he is actually having a holiday.
I know. He's having a holiday with us. But I just remember seeing this kind of stuck in my head. I remember seeing in a Facebook group a few months ago somebody who'd said, oh, I'm just really tired and I just really like a holiday. And everyone was like, well, go on holiday. And she said, well, I can't possibly go on holiday because I've got all this work lined up. It's like, well, unline some work up and go on holiday. Oh, but I don't know where the next work will come from. And that is a big problem. It's a big problem for business owners, not knowing where the next work is going to come from. And believe me, I've been there and it's horrifying.
Scary times.
It is scary times. Which is why you really need to set your business up so that you're not solely reliant on random clients stumbling across you. You need to have a steady stream of leads that you know are going to be coming in, and whether that's from referral, whether it's from word of mouth, or whether it's from a lead generation,
or maybe all of those.
Yeah, all of those. No eggs, not all.
No eggs in any baskets.
Yeah, I'm not even drinking tonight. I'm drinking cranberry juice. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Never rely on one source of anything. Why are you looking at me like that? I was
going to segue calmly into, thanking Terry for looking after the chickens while we were away. Hi, Terry.
Does Terry listen?
I have no idea.
That's the pub landlord who was directly over the road from us, looked after Granny Featherwax, Nanny Egg and Amelia Eggheart for us while we were away. And the cats went to a cattery, which is why Noodle was on my knee then.
He's feeling quite needy.
Yeah. needy.
Get it. What are we doing? What are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about kind of following on from the goals thing that we did last week.
Okay.
A little bit. Starting with a really nice email that I had this morning from Jenny Lewis, who has what I think is the best named business that I've come across so far, apart from the Middle Finger Project, which I wish was mine. But she's a VA at Adminosaurus. Adminosaurus.
Well done.
I just think that's awesome.
Hi, Jenny.
Thanks very much. She says, I just listened to episode 34 of your podcast and love it. Thank you. And she said that she's always been really clear on her goals and she's a big planner, but she loved my idea of going down a river and heading for an island which represents your goal, which is kind of how I think a lot of people live their lives. as I said last week.
Yes.
So that was really cool. And she also wants to move to a bigger house in the country. She's funny, says, not copying you at all. Wouldn't have for a second thought you were. So yeah, I mean, she's hoping that running her own business will mean that they can afford, a house in the country and all the rest of it. And she's got the typical problem that small business owners have, that banks won't even look at them for a mortgage until you've got your 3 years worth of accounts. Which is, I can understand where they're coming from, but it just makes things more difficult. So there you go. Anyway, but I was going to skip past why she particularly...
The best bit. Don't skip that bit. Don't skip that bit.
You can read it out yourself.
She said, but mostly I love that podcast episode because of Joe. That's it.
That's not it. She said, it really sounds like you guys have similar conversations to me and my husband. In fact, I could picture Joe's expression when you asked him his big life goal, because I imagine it's the same as my husband's when I ask him that. Yeah, it was just a look of kind of abject horror and why have you put me on this spot?
Why?
So yeah, that was cool. And she also says she can't wait to find out about my November event, which I'm going to talk about a little bit at the end of this podcast.
Excellent.
Because I'm actually really excited about it now. So, but from there, anyway, on to another email that I got this morning from my friend Yinka.
Hi, Yinka.
Hi, Yinka. And she was talking about, she does Monday morning Mythbusters, which I quite like. So she kind of turns accepted wisdom on its head and kind of examines it and looks at whether it's actually, wisdom or if it's just crap that people spout.
Okay.
Which I think quite a lot of it is. Just
Cool.
crap that people spout. But this morning she was talking about the myth of doing things. And that got me thinking because, and it raised my eyebrow as well, because one of my catchphrases is JFDI, as you know, which means...
Just flip and do it.
That's kind of what it means, yes. And so I was like, ooh, well, what is this? And so yeah, she was talking about that, and she mentioned that Nike has built $1 billion brand around their "Just Do It" slogan, and so it's kind of become a little bit of a catchphrase that people trot out. And I guess I'm a bit guilty of that, but it's kind of my thing. It's what I say. But then I thought, well, I think I need to clarify this, because whilst it's true that most of us need to do more stuff and we don't necessarily need to know more stuff, although I think we always need to know more stuff. I'm going around in a circle.
That went circular fast.
It did. I know what I mean, though. So yeah, knowledge is always good.
Knowledge is good.
Always learning things. But to actually make progress in business, I think what most business owners need is to actually get on with it, rather than to find out more about it. Because actually they know enough about whatever it is that they need to do.
I can see that, yep.
And so, but as Yinka pointed out, it's not quite as simple as that. So I wanted today to just talk a little bit about my JFDI and explain exactly what I do mean by that. Because what I don't mean is just pile in blindly and, run without a map, which you would never catch me doing.
We just got back from picking Vicky up from the wilds of Herefordshire, by the way. She went for a run, got lost.
I didn't get lost.
Phoned me up.
No, I did not get lost. I went for a run, and what I had done was carried straight on instead of taking a left turn, so that added an extra couple of miles onto my run. I didn't really feel like doing 12 miles instead of 10 miles, and so I thought I wasn't that far away, so I thought that you wouldn't mind picking me up.
I didn't mind at all.
Thank you.
Just makes me smile.
So yes, anyway, back on track.
Unlike your running.
Unlike my running. At least I'm not falling over these days. Yinka also mentioned how ridiculous the phrase "if you want something done properly, do it yourself" is. Because and I had never really thought about this before, and I've said it before because it's one of those stock phrases that you trot out mindlessly. And it is a stupid thing to say, really, because what it actually says about the person who's saying it is, A, that they're kind of sneering at other people's ability to do things properly, and B, what are you doing with your face, Joe?
I'm raising an eyebrow at you.
Why?
2 topics. 1, hanging out clothes to dry. And 2, loading the dishwasher.
I like hanging out clothes to dry.
You don't like it when I do it, though, do you?
I don't dislike it. He's now making a face like Beaker out of the Muppet Show at me.
Right. I do it wrong.
But there is a right and a wrong way to load the dishwasher, and you do that wrong.
There we go.
you completely derailed my
Sorry about that. I'll lower my eyebrows.
horse box of thought now.
Your horse box of thought?
Yeah, we're in the country. There's horse boxes everywhere. My tractor of thought.
Okay.
Detracted.
Nothing's perfect.
No, well, yeah, that's. So the first thing is that you're kind of sneering at other people who are more than capable of hanging out washing or loading dishwashers, for example.
Right.
And second of all, you're saying that you're a perfectionist, and that's one of those things that people kind of say with this like puffed up air of pride. Oh, I'm a perfectionist. And actually, what perfectionist means is annoying twat. And I can say that because I am a perfectionist, and it makes me an annoying twat. Because there is no such thing as perfect, is there?
Well, not unless you're loading a dishwasher, apparently.
There's no perfect way of loading a dishwasher. It's a right way and a wrong way.
Right way and a wrong way.
And then degrees.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, perfectionism is not a compliment. It
takes ages as well.
It does take ages. It is people who are perfectionists are basically making excuses for not getting stuff done, and I think it's born out of fear. And I am saying that from the point of view of, talking to someone at the moment who's like, do you feel that you're too hard on yourself and you expect too much from yourself? And I'm like, hell yeah, that's exactly me. And I try really hard not to be a perfectionist because it's totally counterproductive, and I no longer am. And if you read my daily emails and listen to this podcast,
Jesus, just listen to what you're doing. Just listen to this.
You'll know that I am getting much better about the not having to have everything perfect, because there's no such thing.
But just getting on with it.
We're just getting on with it, and that. So my JFDI is not about doing things recklessly or half-heartedly or in a slapdash manner, because of the whole measure twice, cut once, all the rest of it. I'm not talking about chucking yourself blindly into doing stuff, because this is your business. It's not like a random hobby.
Yes.
And it is, it's not something you can just chuck around and hope it's not going to break, because it's going to cost you money. So there is a happy medium, I think, between getting on with it without thinking about it too much and overthinking it to the point of never doing anything, which, by the way, is what most business owners do.
Mm-hmm.
Overthink to the point of not getting anything done. And I do it often as well. How many unfinished ideas have I got hanging around, Joe?
All of them.
All of them, yeah.
Well, no. You do complete many ideas.
I do complete some ideas.
But there are bucketfuls everywhere.
Yeah. And to be fair, when you have that many ideas, you can't really do everything, because otherwise you'd just be spinning.
I have to wait for you to raise an idea at least 3 times before I start listening.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable. Okay.
Because otherwise you just wake me up in the middle of the night and go, we're going to have an elephant sanctuary. And I'm like, okay, nice, good plan.
I don't think I've ever suggested that, but I love that idea.
So I just ignore you for a bit, and if you keep coming back to the same idea, then I start listening.
Goats. It's about the 25th time I've mentioned goats. So, okay, so the other side of this, the other kind of thing that I wanted to talk about with my JFDI thing, I'm not talking about just half-assedly going into it and doing it slapdash. And I also want to point out that on kind of going with Yinka's, if you want something done properly, do it yourself. There is no such thing as perfect. So you really need to accept that some people are better than you at certain tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Which is difficult for business owners, because we like to have that control.
You're kind of used to being in control of everything.
Yeah, and so I'm not kind of, I know I sound like I'm making fun here, but I'm really not, because I totally get how difficult it is to let go of stuff, because it took me 3 years to let go of some of the stuff that I've now passed on to Harriet, who does a far better job of it than I could have done.
Hi, Harriet.
Hi, Harriet. And so Harriet does my admin stuff and bits and pieces and all kinds of stuff, and she does it far better than I could, because she's dedicating that time to it. And my Podfly guys who do this podcast. Hi, Podfly guys.
Hi, Podfly guys.
I could do it myself.
Technically, probably could.
I wouldn't do it as well, nearly as well, and it would take me forever. And would it be a good use of my time? Absolutely not. No way. And
even the Podfly deadline is useful.
Yeah, because I have to get this recording to them by a random time on Tuesday. They've told me their time, but they're in like Costa Rica, and so I get confused, and so I always make sure I've done it by Monday night.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, And if I have a real problem with broadband, it's usually okay if I upload it on Tuesday morning here. So that's cool. But yeah, and then, you know, I'm like, I really miss my cleaner.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that saved me a few hours a week. Well, it saved us a few hours a week.
Yeah.
Saved us a few hours a week. But from my point of view, that's one less thing that I can procrastinate with. Because if I was meant to be doing something, I'd be like, oh, I need hoovering. Or, oh, the kitchen needs cleaning. And so I'd go and do that rather than the thing that I was supposed to be doing.
Sure.
So I really miss my cleaner.
Sadly, we've got wires hanging out the ceiling and really, yeah, a fair amount of building and reconstruction work that we need to do. So it doesn't really feel like a cleanerable house yet, does it?
No, I think it is, but we've perhaps got better things to spend the money on at the moment. So anyway, so yeah, thinking. So outsourcing stuff to people who could do it better than you is a good thing to get into the habit of doing. And don't think of it as a cost, think of it as an investment, because it will free up your time to spend on the billable stuff that you can do.
For sure.
And we talked about that. Joe and I have talked about that a lot. And then I had Mark on and Cherry on a couple of weeks ago. So talking about outsourcing and offshoring.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Cherry.
Hi, guys. So yeah, so I did that. But the other thing that's a big part of it is thinking. So I'm not saying with the JFDI just blindly jump in and do it without thinking. You do have to. Thinking is a part of the JFDI. You have to get your ducks in a row. Ooh, I can't believe I said that.
Ducks in a row.
Ducks in a row. Have to get your chickens in a...
You know what happens after they get put in a row?
What?
They get shot. That's what happens next.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Don't put your ducks in a row, people. That's awful. I did not know that.
I'm sorry. It's true.
Okay, so get your thoughts organised. Which is much less poetic, but kinder. And give it some thinking. Give it some good old thinking at. But not too much thinking. Because, you know, given the chance, I overthink everything, don't I?
Yes, at some point you have to reach the point where you know enough, you've thought enough, and this is the right thing to be doing. And then you need to just do it.
Yeah, just get on with it. So it's basically stop making excuses and start taking action. Like, stop saying, oh, when X, Y, or Z happens, I'm going to do this. Because that basically means that you're not going to do it. It's like people who say...
I'll stop smoking after Christmas.
Yeah.
I'll stop smoking after our wedding anniversary. I'll stop smoking after the holiday.
Yeah.
I'll stop smoking when
I feel less stressed.
Yes, when I've joined a gym.
Yes.
Whatever.
Or people who say, I'll have children when it's the right time. And it's just like, well, then you're never going to have children because it's never going to be the right time to do it.
Sure.
Or I'll get a dog when it's the right time. It's just not going to happen. So stop saying that. And don't be one of those people who is a talker rather than a doer as well. So I know plenty of people who are always talking about all of the things that they're going to do all the time. But it's always things that are going to happen in the future. And that's not to say you can't talk about the things that you're actually going to do and that you are doing.
Sometimes that makes it real.
Sometimes that makes it real to say it out loud. But it's kind of watch how you frame it and listen to the people who you know who are always talking about their big plans and never do anything. And there'll be subtle differences between how they talk about their plans and how people who actually do stuff talk about it. Because the people who are just talkers will be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and it's going to be amazing and we're going to, you know, we'll be doing this, that and the other and it's going to be awesome. And the people who actually get stuff done will be like, right, I'm doing this and it's kind of I am doing this. It's kind of this is happening now and this is the step that I'm going to take first. And they'll talk about it in concrete terms rather than sort of the abstract. And we all do the abstract thing. I have pie in the sky ideas that are never going to come to fruition.
Elephant Sanctuary.
So we all do it, but the really important stuff that is going to move your business on, it needs to be stuff that you actually do and get on with it. So that's what I mean when I talk about JFDI.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing, don't say something can't be done. Instead, ask, how can this be done? Because unless you're talking about breaking the third law of thermodynamics or something, there's very little in the world that can't be done. Within physical boundaries and, you know, your own capabilities. And if your capabilities don't allow you to do something, then stretch those capabilities. Learn how to do it.
Find the people who can do it.
Yeah, because I've always wanted to be able to draw well, and I used to draw quite well. I did pretty well in GCSE art, and I went to an adult art class for years, and then I just stopped. And I thought, oh, it would be really cool to be able to illustrate my own blog posts and stuff. And so I am doing Sean D'Souza's cartooning course.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean. And Sean has agreed to come on the podcast, and I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
I know.
Do you want to say that like in words?
No. And
Sean's coming on the podcast soon.
and yeah, so I'm doing the cartooning course, the Da Vinci course, and I'm really excited about it because it's not. I mean, it is related to business, and it is a business thing that I'm doing, but it's completely different. And it's like, well, I'm actually going to be able to do this stuff that I want to do, and so that's what I mean about taking action. And this is not a cheap course; it's cost me a lot of money. And Joe's making a face at me now.
Really?
Yeah, it's
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. It's fine.
I'm not going to tell you.
Whatever.
But it's an investment in my business and in myself, and I know that it will have much more value than the immediate kind of just being able to draw, because there aren't very many business owners who can illustrate their own stuff, and that's just one more thing that will be me and will set me apart from other people. So, and plus I'm going to love it. It's going to be really good fun.
And have some fun.
Yeah. So yeah, don't say that it can't be done. Instead, say, how can I do this? Find out how it can be done, and ask for help if you need to. Ask people. There is absolutely no shame in saying, I want to do this, I don't know how to do it. How can it be done? And, ask me, I'll help. I've got my Borrow My Brain service, which is awesome, by the way. So, yeah, if you've got an idea, think it through for a little while, and then just get on with it, because most of the thinking that you do will be agonising over whether or not it'll work. And that is true.
And you could find out whether it'll work by doing it.
Yeah, because people are terrified of uncertainty. We all want certainty in life, and the only certainty in life is that at some point you're going to die and that you're going to have to pay taxes. That's pretty much it. Everything else is up in the air. So, you know what? It might not work. It might fail. And that's okay. Because if it does fail, the only person who's going to notice is you and your immediate, your colleagues and perhaps your partner, whatever, and they're not going to care.
Yeah, as long as that failure is a learning.
Yeah.
As long as you go, okay, well, that went wrong, but it went wrong for these reasons, for there, and the market wasn't ready, or I didn't set it up right, or it didn't go, people didn't want it, or it wasn't a good product, or whatever. That's fine. Which is
sometimes happens. So we're not talking failure on the world stage here, unless you're an Olympic diver who's kind of boobs pop out of a swimming costume when she comes up out of the water and the whole world sees. That's not going to happen to you, probably. I'm not going to say for sure. It might do. That'd be bizarre.
It'd be a strange business plan.
It would be a strange business plan. But, my point is that these failures, they're small. They're tiny. Failures with a small f. And even if something massive did happen on the world stage that really embarrassed someone, you know what? People will forget about it eventually. And you absorb it into who you are. Make it a part of you, wear it like a cape.
Get the hell on with it.
And get the hell on with it. And because if you wait too long, you will start coming up with reasons not to do something. And that's tragic, I think. There are so many good ideas out there that are kind of untried and untested and unloved. And a lot of them are mine. And lots of them will fail, and that's fine. And a few of them won't, and they'll be amazing. And that's a really cool thing. And, because I have a million ideas languishing in notebooks and on Trello, and I don't do enough of them, and I get bogged down in the details, and I worry about it being perfect and, all that kind of thing. And so in the end, you've just got to get on with it. And that's what I did with Borrow My Brain. I just launched it. And you know what? It might flop. I've done one call so far. And I'm all right with that because it was really good fun. It was really useful for the guy who did the call with me. And is it going to be successful? I have no idea. But the thing is, having it hanging around and promoting it isn't costing me anything. It's not hurting me.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing it when people, call me. So, I know its value. I know it's a valuable thing. I know it's an incredibly valuable thing because I am really, really good at coming up with random ideas that people can take and run with. And the guy who did the call knows this, and he was like, oh my God, I would never have thought of that, and I'm totally going to try that. And that was just after, that was after 20 minutes chatting with me. So I'm really looking forward to see what he comes up with. And so I know that if it's, if I've only sold one of them so far, it's because I haven't communicated the value to people, because I did what I always do and I whacked it up there to get it up, which is great to start with. And I've just been like, right, there it is. It's there. And what I need to do is hone it and rewrite the sales page and, all of that kind of thing. And really make people, show people the value of it, because it is a high value thing. So there you go, really. Anyway, I'm going to stop blathering about that. And I want to talk about my event, which is in November. And I was just going to give the date, and then I thought I'd better double check the date actually before I give the date out. And the date it's the Thursday the 3rd and Friday the 4th of November 2016, and it is at the Hilton Puckerup Hall in my neck of the woods. It's really easy to get to. It's like right on a big motorway. I will give you more details. If you're on my email list, you'll certainly get an invitation.
If you're not on the email list, you should sign up to the email list.
Yes, it is. I'm going to keep... I'm really looking forward to it, actually, because I'm not going to give away too many details right now because I want it to be a bit of a surprise, but I've got something fairly special planned for each of the 2 days, and the evening meal in between, which is on me, by the way, included in your ticket price, is going to be a really cool thing as well, and I'm really excited about it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and I've already, and this is the kind of thing that I almost didn't do, and I did it about it for so long, didn't I? I was like, I'm going to do an event. I don't want to do an event. Oh, what if it goes? What if nobody comes? And
what if nothing happens? What if it's terrible?
Yeah. And so in the end, I just called an events dude who was recommended to me by my mentor Peter, and I got him to sort the venue for me. I just said, sort it out. And I went to look at a couple of venues. I was just like, yeah, that one. Let's just do that.
Just do that.
And so I signed the contract almost without paying any attention to it. I hasten to add, don't just send me contracts and think I'm going to sign them. That's not going to happen. But I got an events guy who was an expert at this to do it so that I wouldn't have to worry about these things. And I signed it without paying too much attention, because if I pay too much attention, I won't do it.
It starts getting serious and scary. And guess what? Before I've even promoted anything other than the date, I've already got 6 people telling me that they're coming. Cool.
Which is awesome. And so, I worry too much.
Yeah.
We all worry too much. You worry too much. Joe worries too much. Joe doesn't worry too much.
I don't worry. It's all goldfish in here.
But you worry too much, dear listener, and I worry too much, and it's really needless. So I'd just like to finish that with JFDI, with the caveat: don't be slapdash about it. Don't do it all yourself, but do get on with it. So there you go.
Sweet.
Yeah. So thank you for listening. Joe, thank you for being here.
Mumbling every now and again.
Noodle, thank you for purring. He's seen something outside. Next podcast, I think we're going to talk about offline.
Ooh.
I know. Because in a world of shiny marketing online, that came out wrong, shiny online marketing, everyone forgets about offline. And they shouldn't, because it's awesome.
Okay.
So
let's do that.
So have a lovely week, dear listener. Be good. If you can't be good, don't get caught. And we will see you same time next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.